Frogman YouTube channel. We're back reading Fire Force, Volume 28 by Atsushi Okubo, also known as the creator of Soul Eater. This is Fire Force Volume 28 inside of the 10th Omnibus. Now, at the time of recording, only the 11th Omnibus has been released. 12th one is not out. The 12th Omnibus will be a 2-in-1 featuring Volume 33 and 34. I don't want to wait for it, so I have the very end of Fire Force right here, and we're going to do that before starting any other series. But today, obviously, we are here for 28. Fire Force has been cooking, and we start this week with a cool chapter cover. Normally, the covers are trapped in a box here. Fortunately, this one spreads through the whole page, and I just think it stands out. I think this one is very cool. All right, here's our first blue moment for this volume. These guys look sick, is what my note says. These are these great fiery infernals. These are extra large and extra powerful infernals that are being created by Ritsu at the location of the powered down Amaterasu. Here is our first orange note. Orange is, remember, standout panels. This is Ogun and Charon Gas. This whole section at the beginning of this volume was super fire for Ogun and for Charon. Unfortunately, Ogun does take the L in this volume. Unfortunately, I really like that character, but I also really like Charon, thanks to not only this volume, but the next one. So please stay tuned for volume 29 review as we move on to our next note. My next note is this blue Ogun confident moment. Ogun is reflecting on his ancestors and how the ancestor was a ship captain that helped to gather people on his ship, and he was able to sing songs of love and peace to these people, these reggae songs, and that is what Ogun is remembering now. It is his duty to protect the people during the Great Cataclysm, all the way till the end. Super cool character, very shonen-esque character, very cool panels of him using his flaming ink power. This volume does a lot for these two characters, and I enjoy both of them. And the cliffhanger of this same chapter was very hard to put down. So obviously you get this very exciting moment for Ogun, and you think, okay, maybe he's got something up his sleeve. Maybe he's just powerful enough to take care of Charon. Charon throws him on the ground, stomps him and explodes him, and he says, "One down, who's next?" You can't put Fire Force down after reading that. That would have been super sick weekly. You can't put Fire Force down after reading that, man. There's no way. In the middle of a fun flashback featuring Arthur, Ogun, Shinra's there. This is Kareen, I believe his name is. These guys have always been friends, and they've always had things like good and evil and good guys, bad guys, knights, heroes, fire soldiers. A lot of cool things that these characters are looking up to. I also added some foreshadow for this page. Obviously, I think that this is Yona with the A's for eyes. I think this is Yona intentionally spreading this misinformation about Shinra, because they clearly do not want him to be seen as a hero by just about anybody. They do not want him to be seen as a positive influence in the world by anybody, and we will figure out why that is in the next volume. Here we go, badass panel here with Ogun. He stands up defying the odds, even though all that's really keeping him up is the flames, fire in his fiery ink. His flaming ink is keeping him up. Just his determination. Man, you got to give it up for Ogun. This guy is a beast. Give my boy a scratch for that one. Oh my gosh, man. Now at the end of this chapter, that same chapter, one of the coolest cliffhangers ever. This is Dragon. He comes down, bam, and he slams on the ground. He zooms into his face here. "And you, a guardian? How truly pathetic," he says to himself. He's talking about Charon being shot and being weakened a few pages before. This would have been very exciting weekly, because I actually do enjoy Dragon as a character. I like the interactions we're about to see with him and Arthur. Dragon is very cool, pretty funny. Here's our first full double page spread. Believe it or not, there is another one in this volume. This one is Arthur clashing with Dragon. Very sick, very close up of Dragon's hand here, and the way it flows into his body. Very cool perspective shot. Cool way to use a full double spread. Obviously, turn the page 2 times. Orange full double page spread. This is super sick. Obviously, the proportions on a lot of these characters change from time to time. If you got a very large character like Dragon, the proportions are going to change in different scenes. And I think the way that Okubo makes his hands look just enormous here. He looks like a brooding and hulking giant of a man. And that's what he is. He's Dragon. the strongest. Here's an exciting cliffhanger, Arthur versus Dragon. This is from that same chapter, and this was actually pretty sick. Dragon jumps up in the air. Arthur is so quick. Boom! He comes up behind him. He slashes him straight down. Bam! Like this, right? Dragon still swings. He's still fast enough. He swings as Arthur's coming through, and he hits him. Bam! And he's flying down. Hits the ground, but he's still solid. And then here comes Dragon. He's back landing. They're showing off for each other. Man, I'm super excited to see these two characters fight, and it sucks that it seems like every time that it's about to happen, we push to something else. Same thing with this video. Pushing to another note, boys. Open up to this one. Would you believe it? I don't care much about Vulcan, but this moment here was pretty sick. Vulcan finally gets a standout moment. We're gonna see some very cool, exciting attack panels from Vulcan coming up soon. This is actually pretty cool. This is a cool page turn, but it's a dog water character, so you get this page turn. Vulcan, Lisa, and you are down inside of the Amaterasu, and they're trying to open the door to get inside. The door opens. It creaks open. Thank you for opening the door for me. Really, I think this guy would have a sneaky freaky kind of voice. I don't like Giovanni, man. Giovanni is a dog water character. This guy is super lame. I don't like him. So in this volume, we get a bunch of info dump. Same thing with the next volume that I've read, but this one, a lot of info dump about how the laws of the world are now changing. They're getting more and more assimilated with Attila, and the way that imagination and stuff works there is a lot different. A lot of things that you would not normally be able to do in our world, you can now do because of this merging coming closer and closer. That is why Giovanni looks like this. He is really a bunch of bugs right now. He's a bunch of bugs, and then he's one main bug up here, but he can take so many different shapes and sizes during this fight because of that. And then at the end of the chapter, you get this cliffhanger. You see the sun that floats in our sky now was born from a great cataclysm in the distant past. And here's Vulcan. Vulcan is super shocked. Here's my idea. I think it's gonna work like this. And I'll take a quick second. I'll take a quick second to draw this out for you. I think if this is the last world here, and now it's a sun, here's the one we're at now. You are here. And I think that this one becomes a sun. There's got to be another one, right? There's always going to be another one. I think there's going to be another one here, and eventually it's their turn. I think it's just a line that keeps going. That is my prediction. I think that it never stops. It's going to happen regardless. But I hope that maybe I am proven to be wrong. So I'll read more. As you should, man. Go support the official release. I love the official release of these Kodansha comics. Especially this one being a 2-in-1. I had my math off. Fire Force doesn't have 35. It has 34. So this one being 31, 32. And then the last two volumes also have another one. Go support the official release, guys. We support Kodansha comics on my channel, but I don't support Giovanni. Giovanni is trash. Here's a pink note. Giovanni, complete dog water, complete trash. I'm not going to give him the time of day. Obviously, this is what I'm talking about here. He is a small, weird bug type thing, and he's using many other bugs to have an actual form. Super lame character. I don't like him. He has done nothing but be in the way and ruin things for the main characters. Kind of like this guy, but this guy does it right. One of the goats. This is Charon after having a hole blown into his side, and he screams out that he has never faced pain as deep as that. That is kind of crazy. That's super high. Charon is one of the goats. And what they're doing now, Lieutenant Hinawa has replaceable barrels, so he is able to continue to shoot at Charon, hopefully getting him out the way. This is an outstanding panel. Charon taking the blast here, and he's still smiling. Meanwhile, Hinawa has always had these moments where he goes into this killer mode almost, and he just doesn't care. He is locked in. He wants to get Charon out of the way. This was super cool, man. I love this character, Charon, now. I've always kind of liked him, but got to be one of the goats. Finally, we get some panels where Vulcan is cool for once. The note is on the next page, but I wanted to show some of these. I think these are pretty sick. He is almost conducting Lisa's tentacles, and he's attacking with them. I think that's super sick. That's one of Vulcan's first cool moments, especially here. You get the actual full panel that I'm nominating for the note here. All these tentacles shooting up and attacking Giovanni in this moment. Super sick. And unfortunately, Yu has kind of gotten got. And man, there is a solution to pi, he says. Now it's time to check our answers. The great cataclysm is about to begin. Exciting cliffhanger. Speaking of cliffhanger, that is the cliffhanger for the volume. Boys, we got there sooner than I thought we would. Make sure you stay tuned. As you can see right here on the top, we got a lot of notes in this next one. We even have one note, a new note. Stay tuned to figure out what that right there is. It is not what you expect it is. I promise that. Next time on FROGMAN YouTube channel, we're going to look at Fire Force Volume 29 by Atsushi Okubo. Please go support the official release. And while you're at it, support the FROGMAN YouTube channel. I'm out.